To transfer onto Wilson frame with slide sheet requires a minimum of 4 caregivers. The Wilson frame should be wheeled into the room on a cart and moved directly from cart to table with 2 caregivers. Place a single slide sheet folded in half under the patient from head to buttock. Use the top part of the folded sheet to position the patient supine to lateral. While 2 caregivers support the patient on her side, move the stretcher parallel to the OR table and lock the brakes. Using the tilt feature on the OR table, tilt the table toward the patient and stretcher. Ensure the stretcher is elevated to the height of the tilted Wilson frame. Place a bath blanket between the table and stretcher for patient comfort. The slide sheet is placed on top of the frame. Slide the patient to the edge of the stretcher. Ensure the patient's arm is tucked out of the way. Rotate the patient lateral to prone on top of the slide sheet. Slide the patient from the edge of the stretcher onto the Wilson frame. While supporting the patient, return the OR table to the level position. While 2 or 3 caregivers support the patient, move the stretcher away from the OR table. One caregiver supports the patient's head, 1 supports the patient's feet or lower extremities, and 2 caregivers use the top part of the folded slide sheet to position the patient up or down on the frame. Once properly placed, the slide sheet is pulled down from the head, up from the pelvis, and pushed through on one side while pulled out on the other. Once the OR procedure is complete, a single slide sheet is folded in half and placed on the stretcher. The stretcher is placed parallel to the OR table and brakes are locked. Place a bath blanket between the OR table and stretcher for patient comfort. Ensure the patient's hands and arms are tucked out of the way. Tilt the OR table toward the stretcher. Ensure the stretcher is lower than the tilted table. Using the tilted angle to assist, roll the patient from prone to supine. The patient is placed on the edge of the stretcher. Center the patient on the stretcher using the folded slide sheet. Make sure the patient is centered and high enough on the stretcher. Remove the slide sheets and safely stow. Remember, we do not transport patients on slide sheets. When using smart slide sheets, never leave slide sheets under an unattended patient. Never leave on an unattended chair or bed. Never place on the floor. Stow slide sheets safely when not in use.